Welcome back, guys. Today I'm talking about guitar tablature. So music is written on a musical staff. That's where we get all our information. However, guitar players, we tend to use guitar tablature to let us know what it is that we are playing. And guitar tablature is lines that represent the strings of your guitar. So the lowest line is going to be your low E string, and that line up on top is going to represent your high E string. Whenever you see a number, that's telling you the fret that you're going to be pressing on. And so here we have a 5 on fret 5 of string 6. If we move that over to string 5, same fret, we get a different note. And so the way that chords are represented is the numbers are stacked, and so they happen at the same time. Here's a power chord. We've got a 3, a 5, and a 5, and they are played at the same time, so they're stacked on top of one another. And this is what a G looks like. So you've got a fret 3, fret 2, open, 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 and a fret 3. And here's what an E minor looks like. So your guitar teacher might call out something like open, 2, 2, open, open, open. And as basically what he's doing is just calling out the frets so that you know where to press. So we read tablature from left to right. So the very first thing that you see, that's the very first thing that you're going to play. So here we have an example where that's a 3 on line 6 or string 6, the bottom line. So we play that 3. The very next thing that we see is another 3, and so we play that 3 again. And then without moving our hand, just using our finger positions, we play the next thing. So here we have a 5. And the next thing is we go back to the 3 where we started, and then we switch strings to a fret 3 and then down to a fret 2. So see, I'm using my finger, so I'm not moving my hand around to use one finger on each fret. I'm using my fingers where they are in this position. So music or tablature doesn't give us information about how long to hold stuff. It doesn't give us dynamic information. And so the way that I know how to play the song to get the song out of it is just because I'm familiar with the song, and the song is Happy Birthday. So if I wasn't familiar with that song, I really wouldn't have the information to know, hey, hold this note this long and hold this note that long, or do some stylized playing to each of the notes. And so this is how we know about how to stylize what we're playing, and it's basically with cymbals. And there's a few things that we do generally. One is going to be a slide, another is a bend, and then there's pull-offs and hammer-ons. There are others, but these are generally what you're going to do as a beginner. So let's look at this example here. Here we have a slide that starts on fret 3 and goes up to fret 5, and it's on string 4. And so on all of these, what we're generally going to do is we're going to pluck our string one time, and they get multiple sounds out of just that one pluck. So I'm going to use a slide to get 2 sounds. So I'm going to start on that 3 and end up on that 5. Now remember, there's no information that tells me how long to hold that 3 before I go to a 5, if it's a quick slide, or if it's a very slow one. That's going to be up to me to know the song that I want to learn. So now let's look at a bend. Here we have one on string 3, fret 3, and it's a little arrow that's just pointing upward. That means I bend upward. There's different ways to bend. You can do a quarter bend, a half bend, a full bend, and all that stuff will make sense as you progress in your playing. So let's look at our pull-off and our hammer-on. Here we have one on string 5. We have a pull-off that goes from 7 to 5. That means that I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pluck once but get 2 sounds. So I'm going to get both those notes ready with my fingers. I'm going to start with the 7 and end up also getting the sound of a 5. So I'm going to get these 2 sounds with only one pluck. And the way that I'm going to do that is with a pull-off. So what a pull off is just a little gentle pulling of the very first note that you played. It's just a light little pull. And it takes a little bit of practice to kind of get it just right. But one pluck, two sounds. And then let's look at our example for our hammer-on. It's almost the opposite. What we're going to do is now we're going to come up. So we're going to pluck once, but get two sounds. And here we are on string 4. We're starting with the 5, and we're ending with the 7. So we're going to get two sounds, but with one pluck. And we're basically using our finger as a little hammer that comes in and it adds that second note. Those are your general beginner stylings as you begin to learn. And so this is what they would look like if they were perhaps written out on lick. And so here we have a 7 that is hammering onto an 8, and then that 8 pulls off to a 7. That 7 pulls off to a 5, and then we move strings. At the end, we end up with that power chord. And so I'll go ahead and play that so you can hear what it sounds. So we started on that 7 on string 3, and then we're gonna hammer to 8, right? And then pull off to 7. So it's starting here and then coming right back. So 7, hammer on, pull off to 7, and then pull off to 8. So, and then down to the 7, back to that 5 on string 3, back to the 7, and then at the end a power chord. Now once again, there's not a lot of information about how hard to play it, how soft to play it, how long to hold any of these notes. And so it's up to us to know the song that we are trying to play. So in the next lesson, we're going to put all of these things together, chords and melodies, and I'm going to use a very popular song to get that across. So I'll see you in the next one.